Look at Daddy.
He's not my dad, Mom.
Really, Ava?
He's not. My dad's in jail and that means him.
And you are not the father, which means that you will not be placed on any type of child support or anything today.
There is no one else, Your Honor. It was him. He has a tattoo on his private part. I was with him and the tattoo for 72 hours.
There is a probability of something else, though.
Okay.
You were probably with somebody else, too, within that previous 72 hours.
Oh, Your Honor, you tried it.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Big Blue. We're here. We're back with another video. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So this one's going to be a little different. I had read about this. Actually, I think I saw like a couple of videos about this. I think it's Virginia. They're trying to pass a law where it's mandatory to have a paternity test before you sign the papers. Mandatory. I don't see this as an issue, but of course, I'm a guy. A lot of women see this as a big issue. So let's see what's going on here. This video is brought to you by Darius M. Of course, his channel is going to be in the description below. It's called Modern Women Are Doomed by this new anti-paternity fraud law approval. So has it been approved? If it's been approved, then they need to make this nationwide. But let's see what they're talking about.
I think I'm gonna cry again. I'm just so...
DNA testing at birth.
Mandatory.
Mandatory DNA testing at birth. I don't agree with that.
What?
Why
The
not?
DNA test results show that Mr. Smith, you are not Monica's father.
Those videos break my heart.
Making DNA testing mandatory is stupid.
Tennessee is making a significant change with House Bill 2689, requiring paternity tests before signing birth certificates. This is a critical move, as studies show that around 1/3 of men tested may not actually be the biological father. By mandating these tests, the number of incorrect father identifications could grow. Moreover, the state is cracking down on maternity fraud, making it a punishable crime.
Oh, look at Daddy.
He's not my dad, Mom.
Really, Ava?
He's not. My dad's in jail and that means him.
I'm over here in the hospital, y'all, finna give birth to his child, and he over here questioning me, talking about, is this really his baby? Like, what are you talking about? Do you really think I'm sitting here have you up here at the hospital and everything with me just for nothing? Are you serious right now? What kind of baby dad does that right when we finna have this baby? Like, are you serious? You really gonna sit here and question the baby talking about, oh, can you get DNA test? No, you're not getting no DNA test after this. I'm not doing that. This is your child. If you don't believe it's your child, then you could go ahead and go.
As the father, I'll take care of her.
You are the father.
But I'm not the father.
You are the father.
I'm not her father.
Why during the pregnancy did you show up at the maternity shoot?
I showed up at the maternity shoot because she wouldn't leave me alone about it and kept arguing with me about it. So I went so she would stop causing stress in my life.
Dad. That's why I called you.
But I'm not
Dad.
I'm not her dad.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
In the case of 11-month-old Lila, Drew, you are not.
From 5 to 30%.
This was a video that I saw. Yes, this was a TikTok that I saw. This was a couple months ago. I wonder if I'm trying to see if they passed it. I wasn't seeing exactly what I thought I needed to see, but let's go ahead and continue.
From 5 to 30% of the general population, men are raising and paying for children that are not theirs and don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy, guys. Yeah, I was watching this video, and what he's saying is when it comes to the paternity test facility, 1/3 of the men who take the paternity test are not the father. That means 1 in every 3 men are not the father of their child or children. That is nuts. That is crazy. That is crazy. So why is this an issue? I don't understand.
According to the American Association of Blood Banks, between 25 and 30% of the males who are accused of being the father, they take a paternity test and find out they did not do it.
Are you for mandatory DNA testing at birth?
I am absolutely on record as saying that if we want to prevent the problem of having men challenge paternity later down the road, is then let's apply a proactive solution. Automatic DNA testing at birth would work to help two things. One, we would assure that the right parents were named on the birth certificate. Two, it would stop paternity fraud and take the profit out of paternity fraud.
But so many women's groups say this wouldn't be fair. You're acting like you don't trust the mother. Why do you think they say that?
It's a red herring. It takes away from the focus of, well, who's the one person who has all of the information about potential fathers or the paternity candidates? It is the child's mother. And currently, in most places, she has no duty to disclose that, well, wait a minute. Well, my husband's not really my child's father. My boyfriend is. Like, well, wait, lady. But you're married.
And that's the crazy thing. They keep talking about abortion and women's rights. I understand the whole medical part of it, which is always the topic, which is always the itchy part in the whole situation. For medical situations where there's a miscarriage, of course, then yes, that doesn't make any sense. But that's not majority of the cases when it comes to abortion. So a lot of it is they just don't want the child because they decided to go open their legs up. 1 + 1 = 2. I mean, this is kind of what opening your legs up is supposed to do, is to produce a child. And then all of a sudden they just don't want it for XYZ reason. This holds the accountability to the women. Keep your legs closed. That's just point blank, period. That'll deter a lot of women from will it deter? I think it will. Mandatory tests, yeah. It definitely holds a lot more accountability. Yeah, you're gonna be ashamed. Yeah, you know, your feelings may get hurt or whatever the case may be. But how was that fair for the guy who's been taking care of this child that isn't his? And don't tell me, oh, it's a child. Men should be caring about all children. That's a whole different level of deception. Just to cover your behind up. You're the only one that should know who this child's father is. I don't know.
My wife has been cheating on me with this guy, apparently.
Apparently right now there's a huge debate on whether or not paternity tests should be mandatory. A lot of women are against it, to no surprise whatsoever. A lot of them are saying that they would divorce their husband immediately if he asked them for a paternity test.
He is the father. 72 hours. He has a tattoo on his private parts. He was the only one there. I know
father. He is not the father. How many times do I have to say that? No, I don't want to see a tattoo. All I want to see was these numbers to see what the probability was going to look like of him being the father. He is not the father. Now,
that was way too much, by the way.
You have a tattoo.
Excuse me. You know what? I don't even see why you all need to be having a conversation right now.
I agree.
You are not the father, which means that you will not be placed on any type of child support or anything today. Now, you, Miss McKinney, you do have the right to petition someone else who you may think is the father.
There is no one else, Your Honor. It was him. He has a tattoo on his private part. I was with him and the tattoo for 72 hours. I know what I felt. I know what I saw. Okay, it was him.
Well, there is a probability of something else, though.
Okay.
You were probably with somebody else too within that previous 72 hours.
Oh, Your Honor, you tried it.
There's no shade, just facts.
30%.
That's 30% of all men who go to actually get paternity tested turn out to not be the father.
That's crazy.
So out of every 100, 30 of those will not be the dad.
My ex-boyfriend told me that, married or not, if I ever had his baby, that he would want a DNA test before he would accept that child as his own. When he told me that, I was like, what? It honestly pissed me off. We got into it. I was telling him how he made it seem like he didn't trust me and all these different things. And he was saying, no, that's not it. You don't understand because you're a woman and you would never have to question if that child is yours or not once you have it. Even if you trust someone, you could still have that small percentage of a chance that that child is truly not yours. And then he was saying how if it truly is my child, then what is the issue?
It's 99.9% not compatible. So you got pregnant around the time you were with me.
Are you crazy?
No, it's nothing to go back about. Who was you f***ing?
I don't even know how to start this video, and I've tried to start it about 10 times, but
I think we should start by saying a massive thank you to everyone who commented or reached out to me about my video about the DNA test. I can now confirm that I did receive the results today, and
he's not the father. This is not something that the world needs to know. Something like this, and this is where social media becomes an issue. I don't know if you really care that you're putting out social media, but putting stuff like this on social media is not a good idea. You have a whole bunch of people that's going to give their input about you, millions of people, probably hundreds of thousands of people, let me not say millions, that's just going to give input on your situation. They're not here for you, even though some of them may say, oh, we're here for you, anything. No, you don't know these people. You don't know these people. Your business does not need to be out there. Not only that, if there's people that you do know that's on your social media page, now they're going to go to old boy who's not the dad and cause issues. This is not something you do online.
oh my god, I think I'm gonna cry again. I'm just so
Embarrassed?
I can't stop crying.
Interesting video. Look, I don't know. Now, I could be wrong. Y'all let me know in the comment section below what y'all think. I think if this was universal, this would decrease the need for abortions. Actually, I stand corrected. I don't think it would decrease the need for abortions. I don't know. It may increase the desires for abortions because it's a sticky situation. Yeah, I don't think this is really going to do much for abortions per se, but if anything, that will give men the peace of their mind. I think this does need to be mandatory. If there's any women that you're with, this is just straight up. If there's a female that you're with and you bring this topic up to them and they start giving you problems, should reevaluate your relationship. It's either they're hiding something or they're too caught up in themselves to realize that the big thing to understand is that when you're the mother, there is a 0% uncertainty that the child is yours. But when you're the dad, there's a certain percentage, especially if you don't know who the person is, especially if you just met the person, especially if there's been any issues at any point, there's always going to be that uncertainty. Or he may just be clueless until later on when he starts hearing some stuff from other people, and then he decides to get the DNA test and finds out that the child may not be his. This is the world that we live in. If this is the world that we're going to be living in, where people are just willy-nilly just going out and doing the do with whoever they want to, when they want to, females, I don't understand what the issue is. And the crazy thing is, if you didn't do anything and the child is yours, then just do the test. It's as simple as that. It's just like all my cop videos. If you didn't do anything, just know your rights first off and comply. This is a little different. But I mean, it's one thing that my homeboy Black, he was telling me, like, when we were back in college, you cannot put a price tag on peace of mind. You just can't. And as crazy as it sounds, if somebody feels like something is going on, if there's nothing going on, you just prove it to them to give them that peace of mind that ain't nothing going on. If they keep coming back to you after you've given the solid proof, I mean, you can't give any more proof than getting a DNA test with this. But for other situations, if they keep coming back to you with either your proof isn't proof enough, or you're doing stuff constantly to lead them to believe that, or they have more traumatizing issues that they got going on themselves. Either way, you do your part in providing the peace of mind for the person as much as you can, up to the absolute evidence. If you really care for this person, if you really care for this individual who you're going out with, or if you really love your spouse the way that you're supposed to. That's really all it boils down to. I take my stance back. I don't think it's really going to solve much for abortions, but I think it's really going to help out a lot of men who stuck in these situations, like child support, or even then just taking care of a child that isn't theirs. Don't let it be a boy. Don't let it be a boy. This boy that I've been raising up to be my heir, to continue my name, is not my child, not my biological child. You got to do a lot of convincing to have him in the spot where it's like, yes, that's still going to be my child. He may get to that point, but depending on it really just depends on your relationship. If your relationship is already rocky and you're already giving him issues, this, and the third, no, you're going to have to do a lot of convincing for him to not disown the child after that. I don't know. It's just a whole bunch of iffiness. This is why we got to focus on the Bible and focus on the way that God tells us to live in a holy sense of just being different from the world and not doing these things. Yes, we're human and stuff happen, but we need to be truthful about it and hold ourselves accountable to these situations and just be straight up and not just put somebody else in a more difficult spot just to appease your feelings or not feeling ashamed or probably just trying to set people up. It's disgusting. Interesting video nonetheless. Yo, I don't know. Crazy stuff. Anyways, this needs to be nationwide. This needs to be nationwide. I don't think it's going to fix a lot of issues, but it will definitely change the dynamic of how people look at parenting, one, actually having a child with somebody, two, and actually mating with somebody, three. It'll change. I think it will change a lot over the course of the years. That's what got to be done. That's what got to be done. I mean, I don't know. Interesting video nonetheless. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Take care.